Today's session is really about building the future entrepreneurs and innovators, and how this relate with the college admission. I think you will have a very fair idea as we go in a subsequent slides. But really, if you see where we are in the Industry 4.0 revolution, and everybody is just scrambling. We as parents, the college admission, and including the workforce provider, the future of work, all is changing. Every time the industry revolution happen, a lot change, but this time it is different. What we are really seeing, not only the work is changing, but the way we are going to perform work is also changing. A lot of full-time jobs are going to disappear. There are a lot of stories published there, and more freelancing gig economy will take over, right? So this is going to be one of the most challenging time for all of us as parents, as academia and college, whoever, just to prepare the next generation. So here is a quick intro about us. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have built several companies. I used to lead marketing teams at Walmart and eBay. So I'm really an e-com guy, not the educationalist, but my core expertise is really entrepreneurship. I have been doing my last company is in the AI/ML. So in EasyDR, we serve 7 out of top 10 retailers, and I really, when we were building Moonshot Junior, we took a whole industry angle. And what really happened in the market, there is a lot of noise. They all want to do like industry and academia partnership, but what end up happening, except like top of the top, if you see like Stanford or place like those, they have really core integration. The people who are CEOs or build companies, they go there and teach. That create a very different atmosphere. Otherwise, what really happened, if you think about our middle high school, I mean, I live in Silicon Valley. My kids goes to top-notch schools. You talk to those teachers. I mean, they have no clue what really industry. I mean, nobody even build a small business. Nobody has even a selling two product on eBay. Until let's do some of that thing, you really don't know. I mean, you know academic knowledge, but that is really not helping beyond a point. So that's where the company started. And I'll tell you the whole story. And I was always passionate about kids' education, but uh, till there was no compelling reason. But now my daughter is in high school, my son is in higher elementary, and he's 9, my daughter is 14. All of a sudden this became big problem for me, and that's how the company got started. So I'll tell you the whole story, but before I take further time, I'd love to introduce Ashu, my co-host today. Ashu, if you can just share a couple of lines about you.
Yeah, sure, definitely. So, my name is Ashutosh Oil. I'm based out of London in United Kingdom. Moonshot Junior is again like one of the ventures where, I'm working with Alok primarily to create an impact in general. We found a gap that there is a lack of innovation, entrepreneurial mindset development in K-12 education. And that's where we have joined in a way. Our expertise brought our expertise in place to provide experiential learning on this platform. My background has been primarily a supply chain expert and transformation business change for top 5, 6 retailers here in the UK. I've worked with most of them and focus on business process, business areas. But what we'll talk about here today is what is this entrepreneur and innovative mindset all about, and how it can help and create future innovators.
All right, thanks, Ashu. So Uh, before I dive in, let me share stories of some of our students, what they are doing. And again, I mean, the college admission, this is not how we started. We really started with the vision of we are going to train these students so they can be uh, more prepared for Industry 4.0 and future of work. But we done a recent survey of our students, and more than 50% parents are saying that Moonshot Junior might have a recipe which will look very good on college. And we work with many college admission counselors, and they are saying the same thing. There is a major difference. If you go just to any college counselor, they will look at it, what is your profile is, and they will just move it around and try to make it look good. But I think you are really not putting more meaning to it. And we are the one who are really identifying the gaps and trying to create stories, because again, for a common or a generic college, some of these things you can really put together a recipe and might work. But if you really aspire to go to highly selective schools, universities, then you need to have a lot more. And that's what we are going to focus today. So let me share where are some of our students and what they are doing. We at Moonshot Junior offer a holistic education through our 4-stage innovator program with an outcome-focused learning and product development experience. It encompasses 360-degree entrepreneurial training by helping kids explore their area of interest and imbibe critical and life skills through hands-on experiential learning.
Hi, I'm Sonia, and I'm from California, USA. As a little kid, I was always super interested in coding in Raspberry Pi.
Hi, my name is Samviranka. I'm 14 and I live in California, United States. I am the creator of the Fantastic Box. The mentors and subject matter experts at Moonshot Junior have a flexible outlook. This is why I was able to articulately speak in front of a broad audience in arenas such as TEDx, where I shared my thoughts about the future.
Hi, my name is Anita Galvin. I love robotics. I designed and created this camera add-on module with Moonshot Junior.
Hello, I'm Aditi and I'm 11 years old.
Hi, I'm Aditi, I'm 13 years old.
And we live in England. Together we have written a book called The Atlantic Adventure.
We are very grateful for Moonshot Junior's support during our journey.
Hi, my name is Delina. I'm in 7th grade and I'm from Ontario, Canada. I made this animation to show awareness about the situation.
Hi, my name is Liza Stellings and I've been studying with Moonshot Junior and their innovative program for the past few months. So far, Moonshot has been truly wonderful and I've loved getting to do fun and amazing things with my incredible instructors. Now we are starting our prototype stage for our single button RF attention reminders.
My name is Shoya Malhotra, and the creator of the most realistic Tombola app on the App Store. This app is one of the most realistic, if not the realistic, Tombola app on the market. The innovative program at Moonshot allowed me to get the guidance I needed throughout the whole development lifecycle of the app.
So we are creating a lot of these stories, but before I dive in to other students, let me share my own story. So this is my daughter, Sania, as I said, she's 14 now. And she just wanted to transform these ugly looking copper bottle because she wanted her younger sibling, my son, to drink from them. And he said like, they look ugly, bulky. And she just wanted to put a social message, wanted to make it smaller. And with my kind of background, I said, sure. I mean, I have so much e-com background. This is a small task. I put together a number of hours, what it will take to create something like that. And I said, this might be 45, 50 hours of work. But the picture is not that rosy. When you really start putting things together, the work became 500, 600 hours. Very simple reason. It's not that much work, but since there is no infrastructure, you get stuck at every stage. Prototype, where would you do? In India, China, US, whatever. And then we did find first vendor. He gave a very, I'll say very ugly looking prototype. The second vendor took our $2,000 ran away. At every stage, we had to struggle so much. And in the end, this kind of the amount of time we end up spending. And what really happens, I mean, me and my wife are working. Most of us as parents are working, though we want to teach our kids, we understand the entrepreneurial mindset or this kind of education is important. But I mean, who has 500 or 600 hours? And we, after 10, 20% job, we start giving up. I mean, I'm not sure, though Dallas seems very competitive. In Silicon Valley, pretty much every second of my friend who has kids in middle or high school, they are trying to do something like this for their kids. And what really happened after somebody finished 10%, somebody finished 20% and give up because it just becomes too cumbersome. And think about the impact on your children. I mean, in general, we are their role model. And when we give up, they all of a sudden get a very wrong message that, oh my God, this is so difficult. And we were very determined. And I really wanted to put together this infrastructure so my daughter can finish her job and many other kids. And I'm so glad that once we did it, I realized a lot of friends, a lot of parents in similar situation, because this is not my story. I think this is a story of every parent who has kids in middle or high school, especially with the changing trend of college admission, where they are saying that, okay, now the SAT, SCT could be optional or even blind. Now GPA becomes a lot higher weightage, and the extracurriculars. Some of the places, if you go to highly selected universities, they become almost like core skills. And until unless this infrastructure is there, very difficult to provide support for our kids. So really, as I spoke in the earlier part of my presentation, if you see the industry over industry, all the revolution. So industry 1.0 was really about steam engine, kind of change the travel at that time, textile whatsoever. Then electrification happened, everything got changed again. Now we are in the 4.0, and it's really the all digitization, and 5.0 will become the hyper personalization. So many things are happening beside the industry change. The nature of work is changing. What they are really saying now, this is almost guaranteed. The US is publishing this by 2030, 50% of US workforce will become contingent, means all contract staff. But if you go to PwC and other, they are saying there is a scenario, a likely scenario where this number can become as high as 80, 85%. What does it mean? The full-time jobs are going to start disappearing. More freelancing, more gig economy will take over. And it's really preparing the mindset. I'm not saying that everybody will start coming out and start building big companies and hiring employees, but it's just mindset training. In that freelancing world, are our kids ready to take that kind of job market? Very simple example. I mean, us, like somebody who has been in a job for 5 or 10 years, all of a sudden we get a message that there are layoffs happening. Many of us start sweating, right? If you think about any other job, like you take example of your construction worker, they do not know what they are going to do next month, but for just a $50, $100, they will not negotiate and they will just walk away. It's just the mindset. They have that kind of mindset, so they do not care. And I do not know any good construction worker who is struggling for life or for food. I mean, they are always busy. So it doesn't mean that if you are having that kind of mindset, you will not have job. You will have plenty of jobs, but that kind of time is coming in. Is our school system is not really prepping our kids for that kind of future. And if you think college admission, university, and all that, they all are just trying to get there. So it's not like the college admission, you say it will stay archaic what it was. It is changing. It is changing. Every college is trying to become more and more compliant for Industry 4.0. And they are looking things on your child essay and resume and application that have they done any entrepreneurial thing. So I mean, I already discussed about Industry 4.0. What is there in the Industry 4.0? Everything really revolves around the tech, right? From AR, VR to big data to smart sensors to IoTs to all of it. And us as parents, we often wake up too late. What the college admission want to see, they really want to see a consistent story. You cannot put together a story overnight, right? So when you wake up a little bit early, you have plenty of time. And I'll show you an example of my own daughter. This was a big problem for me, and that's how the whole thing got started, how we are prepping her, and then we'll share many other story of other students. And if you see the school system, education system, all the countries across the globe, they are making changes so they can comply with Industry 4.0. In India, where we think like education policies, they were one of the hardest to change. In last year, a lot of things has changed there. The new policy came, entrepreneurship is a part of the core curriculum there. So do in UK and Saudi Arabia, Philippines, UK, USA, everywhere they are making changes so they can comply. And all the universities are encouraging for video essays these days because they really want to see leadership, public speaking, a bunch of other things which might not be that clearly visible from the textual essays, right? Because they really want to see, are you there so you can be compliant? Now, when SAT or ACT becoming optional or blind, which was the case last year and which is the case this year, I don't think this is going to sustain. Some of these tests are going to come back because all the schools, top schools, they are getting 20 to 30% more applications. Harvard used to get 40,000, now they are getting 57, 58,000. Same story with Cornell, same story with many other top schools. And I think some of these tests will come back, but we do not have clarity. So if SAT, ACT are having lesser weightage, your GPA kick in, and then extracurricular becomes more and more important. And we work with the several college counselors. This is one of the large company, Except You, they are our partners. And this guy, let me just play quickly. uh, so Stephen, he was assistant dean of admission at Cornell, and he was also assistant dean of admission at Princeton before he started Accept You. And I mean, this is what they are saying.
The reason we have Moonshot, the icon here or the logo here, is because if you're a Moonshot student, you actually will, I promise you this, write better essays. Why? Because most of the highly selective universities will ask, what do you want to study and why? And if you have a Moonshot experience, I promise you, you'll be able to articulate what you want to study and why based on your project, based on your company that you start, based on your experience in leadership and in entrepreneurship.
So, and I'll touch with the college admission, though I do not want to claim myself as an expert, but these are the important things I think, as all of us, as most of the parents who has kids in high school are already very familiar with all this terminology. So the grades, right? What they're really looking for, upward trends and performance, as well as rigor of courses. If you are in a school where there are 15 APs offered, and you are taking only 2, where your all other friends are taking 8 or 7, then you are behind. And same thing with the academic performance. And it's like really the average of that year. So if you have a 2 semester or 3, whatever, but they are going to, because when you apply to any schools or any college, the schools are going to send the transcript automatically, and they will just average out the grade. So one semester less versus other semester, focus on the annual, really the academic performance. And 11th and 12th become the most important. The 12th grade, the second half might not be that important. The first half, they definitely want to see that as a part of the equation when you submit. The test score, as I said, like SAT, ACT, they both are equally weightage depending on what you feel comfortable. So you can really do uh, there are many samples available. Try those out and just see which one you like, and then attempt it. As I said, like right now, the weightage may not be there, but eventually either they will come back or a similar test or something is going to come back, because it's just very difficult for universities to do a first screening. Now, the extracurricular, especially um, if you are really looking for highly selective universities, extracurriculars, they have been always very highly weighted. It is just going to become even more. And they can be all around. I mean, it doesn't need to be one particular thing. I mean, there is a lot of confusion that community service might have a weightage. Most of the schools, in fact, none of the university really require a community service. And until unless you are really applying for the United States Naval Academy or Air Force or something. So they are looking just 3, 4, 5 things on extracurricular on your resume, on your essay. If you have 0 or 1, it's difficult to know who you are. If you have 15 or 20, then again, I don't know anything about you. If you have 3, 4, 5, and there is a consistency, especially if you look at the breadth versus depth, highly selective universities are definitely going to look for the depth. They don't want to see that first year you play soccer and the next year you play tennis. They really want to see what you have done consistently throughout those 4 years. And in every university application, you will have that column when you are putting the extracurricular. And again, most of the schools will allow only 6 extracurriculars. So it's already tell you that they do not want to see more than that. So 3, 4, 5 is a good number. And there will be a column that do you want to continue this activity once you get in the school, and we'll like to see yeses there, because that just tells that, okay, you are not somebody who give up on things quickly. So you have enough depth there. And when you look at the essays, really, it's a point of view, it's your story. And this is very important for us. And I'll tell you what we are doing at Moonshot Junior. And our role as parents, I mean, as parents, we may not like to dictate what they want to do, but when they are in multiple things and choices, sometimes our kids are very confused. What should they pick and not? That's where our role becomes critical. So I'll tell you what I'm doing for my daughter as a parent, and then maybe I'll hand it over to Ashu in a bit so he can tell what we are doing for many other students. Um, because I feel I'm a parent first, then a CEO of this company, and I feel this subject very closely because I'm struggling and this is my need every day. On the essays, So you will have the main or creative essays, which every university need. But then there are supplemental essays. If you are applying to Ivy Leagues or top schools, they all are going to put a lot of weightage on those supplemental ones. They would like to see your non-academic side. They would like to see, are they going to really like you? That's why there are the video essays becomes more and more critical. And as part of the Moonshot Junior, our offering, literally every child who comes out, they can come out as a CEO of a small business. Looks very unique on your resume. In terms of community service, I'm not saying like it has no relation, as long as the community service builds the profile, right? If you want to become a computer science student, if you are doing community service where you are teaching computer science, then that's relevant. So we want to keep it relevant. Many students who are studying here, they will do the mentorship to younger students in the same vertical. If they are doing or they aspire to do major in business or major in engineering, then we will give them opportunities. We have students we are teaching in India, we are teaching students in Kenya. We'll provide the students of US community service so they can teach young girls in Kenya, and all those things looks very, very good on your resume. Leadership, every child is going to create several YouTube videos when they are building their prototype, when they are selling things, when they are putting together their business page or launching a product on these marketplaces, whether it is Amazon of the world or an NFT platform or a gaming platform like Unity, it could be App Store and so on. And academics, of course, one thing we do not do and we have no plan to do, really doing anything in athletics, that has some weightage, but it's not like if you don't have an athletics related extracurricular, your resume is not good. I mean, they just want to see 3, 4, 5 things, whatever you are good at, and everything is acceptable there. So before I dive in further, let me just tell quickly a story of my own daughter, how we are helping her. So initially, she wrote many books, and I'll tell you that she was always passionate about the wildlife preservation, anti-poaching, saving animals, and whatsoever. She wrote this book when she was really young, and she wrote many other books at that time because she really liked writing. But then, as she evolved, because all these kids changes year over year, when she was in middle school versus how she thinks now, my job as a father, I really want to tweak her or guide her so she can connect all the dots, right? So she did this, and this was really about wilderness speak. When she wanted to help my son to drink from the copper bottle, we design or we help her design through Moonshot Junior education bottles which are really environmental. They have message about animal preservation and so on. So you can see the whole story. It connects very well that what she has done 2 years before versus what she has done last year, what she's doing now, and she's only in sophomore right now, 10th grade. She has still another 3 years, and I'll tell you what she's doing. So we or she launched her product on Kickstarter. She wrote a book on that. The Kickstarter community like it. They have funded her project, and there was enough backer, and you can see the kind of video she able to create to excite the community. Let me play just a few seconds of it.
What are you doing?
I'm drinking from a plastic water bottle. Duh, what's wrong with this?
Exactly, a plastic water bottle. Do you know how unhealthy that is for you?
No.
Use this instead. It's so much better.
But it's so heavy for my backpack.
I really want him to drink from them. The big thing is an easy fix. All I have to do is make them smaller so they're less heavy. But I really want to make them more visually appealing. I guess I've always been passionate about wildlife and animals. I know. What if I made bottles that look cute while also spreading a message about the problems in the world? While looking at the ugly...
So you can see, so then she launched this, she got some money, then she able to launch the same bottle, and you can see all of these on Amazon, and sold over 250 bottles, right? And all these are very profitable. Each bottle make $4-5. Now the story connect very well. And now she's, as I said, like she's still on 10th grade. So now she is building, she got interest in coding and other things. So now she's building the pet tracker. So you can, and we got a cat here. So you can put sensors. These are Arduino based devices. So you can know, so you know if your cat is eating well, you can put on dog, so you know if your dog is exercising, and then we can expand it to the wild animal. And sometimes you might not want to be intrusive, you don't want to put a sensor on a wild animal, then we can just put some cameras in the jungle at different location, use some AI. So I think all that platform is coming up. So now when you put a college application, all these stories and all these dots connect very well. And she got a website, and you can see all the stories there. So just really the building the stories from one place to other. And as I said, like, I wanted to walk you through what we are doing at Moonshot Junior. So first I wanted to tell you as parents why we build this company and what we are doing, and I'll hand it over to Ashu, so he can just walk you through some of the methodology, what we do, and some other success story of other students. Before I do that, I love to launch a quick poll. um, uh, uh, Dipanshu, if you can help me launching the poll. Yeah, as poll is coming, I just want to make sure, when we say entrepreneurial mindset, what is really this session about and what is all Moonshot Junior about? It's not really about teaching them entrepreneurship and from the sake of that they will become and open their own business. That's not the intent. I mean, if you want to get even a high paying position, think about, you want to become a director or VP in a big company. Even today, forget about 10, 20 years down the line when our kids are going to go in the job market, until unless you have that entrepreneurial mindset, it's very difficult to get those kind of job even today. And even if you get it somehow, it's very difficult to hold those. So this is need of the hour. If we don't teach them, they might not be able to get even a good position in the future. So that becomes critical. So can you end the poll so we can just see the result? All right, excellent. So we are seeing all of the above. That's 88%. I think everybody is there, and we see about 13% for technical skills. So no disconnect there. For the industry.4 to survive, their technical skills are going to be at the forefront, as I said, and we even have a slide there. But just having the skill is not going to be enough. You must have a skill, but then on top of that, you should know the way to sell your skill, because now you need to keep selling. What they are saying for all Gen Zs, they are going to see 15 to 20 different jobs and career in their lifetime. So pretty much every 2 years, you are switching their job. So you need to keep selling yourself. So if you don't know how to sell your skill, it is going to get very difficult to survive in that kind of atmosphere. So thanks, everyone. Let me share my slides again. And can you guys still see my slides, Ashu?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, perfect. So Ashu, I'll hand it over to you if you can just walk us through some of the.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so like thanks Alok, like you have covered it very well. You have touched upon all the aspects that will lead to what exactly we are doing at Moonshot Junior. So like the ecosystem of Moonshot Junior comprises of primarily like 3 pillars. Like Alok mentioned, technical skills will always be at the forefront, wherein kids learn about the skills that are important, that they are passionate about, whether it is robotics, AI, machine learning, or creative writing and things like that. Along with that, like critical skills, life skills, or soft skills as we call it traditionally, they will come in for handy as well. They are very important for you, for these kids to success in future, especially going forward. How do they present on the videos? A lot of kids are very shy. How do they speak in front of an audience who is remote, or in front of an audience in general? Then the third part, or the third pillar, is developing the entrepreneurial or innovative mindset. It is all about like how you can utilize the resources that are around you, how you can navigate your path through having a resilient mindset. How do you manage your numbers, goals? How do you utilize everything that is around you to achieve that goals? So all these 3 pillars formulate our main program. So like as it is on the slide, like our key focus is that we want to develop innovative and entrepreneurial mindset, and our platform provides or the curriculum that we go through, that provides exactly the same. one of the key things that Alok mentioned about is early realization of passion. It is very very important. Like many of us, I could say that we didn't realize our passion until we went to the university or in mid of our careers. Very few realize their career early on. So what our platform provides an opportunity where kids can or children can explore like what are the various opportunities available, what clicks, what doesn't click, what is it that will help them achieve what they have dream about, what they are passionate about, what they love. So we have a framework, we have a thinking methodology, we have a teaching methodology that enables us to do that. um, like the key thing that is missing from K-12 education in most of the countries that we have gone through is experiential learning. Like we have taught students in 18 or more countries in last 1 year to 18 months to 1 year, 1 year to 18 months, sorry. And the only place where we saw the experiential learning is given a lot of weightage in K-12 is Scandinavian countries. And that's where like we and still there are a lot of things that are missing out there as well. But like the key thing is what they say is like if you do not hand over a tennis racket to a child, they will not learn how to play tennis, they'll not get passionate about playing tennis early on. If you don't take them to movie halls early on, don't show them the right movies, they'll not be becoming actors and things like that. It is early exposure, early experiences that makes a difference, and that's what we want to do through our platform, our courses. Then the other bit is industry 4.0 is like not just tech, it is about communication, right? These kids, they are the Gen Z's, they are going to work with workforce of future. They will be connected, like people will not be staying in one room. They need to know how they can structure, how they can socialize, how they can create a product that suits the need of everyone in a cohort. So the platform that again we have created, it lets us, a student in US, communicate and work with a student in Kenya who is getting an advice from students in India and creating a product that is going to be sold in Australia. Right. So like we have a platform that enables these kids to just go wild, to be honest. Right. Well, Alok, if we can move on to the next slide, please. Thank you. Yeah, so this is one of the success stories where in like Alok, if you can play this video that one of our students achieved, and it tells us a lot about our methodology.
Hi, my name is Richard Churi, and I'm currently a junior at Mission San Jose High School, which is located in Fremont, California. I've been playing a unique sport called squash at an international level for 7 years. And squash is basically played in a box-like court where each player takes turns hitting a ball against a wall with a racket. And during training, most squash players, and me as well, partake in an exercise called ghosting. So ghosting is where an individual practices movement onto the ball and goes to basically different corners of the court and swings a racket as if they were. So some solutions do exist. However, this is kind of where I came up with the idea for Ghost Clear. Ghost Clear basically consists of a set of 6 separate devices, as well as an app that connects to them via Bluetooth. So with Ghost Clear, one can set up these 6 devices across the court and start different types of workouts from the app. In each workout, the app will tell you where to ghost and sometimes tell you even how fast you should ghost by lighting up one of the 6 devices in different orders. And each device has an ultrasonic sensor attached to them so they can detect a swing of.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so like this is one of the case studies, or the one of our students, Varun. He is an international squash player in his age group, under 19, represents USA. He was struggling with like the aids that will help him in improving his performance, advising him like what kind of routine exercises he should be performing, what are his weak areas. The devices or the aid or support that was available, that was far too expensive, like in the range of like $15,000 to $25,000. So like he thought, or like it should be very simple for him to create a device or set of devices that at least can tell him the coverage by detecting the motion, detecting where his racket is going or not. So he has an idea. He created a very rough prototype. He had expertise or he learned in university a bit of coding programming. So he had fair amount of an idea that how he is going to achieve it. He came to us with an objective that like he want to take this project to the end state. We worked with him. We are still working with him, advising him, teaching him like how he can achieve his goal in getting these devices or set of devices created, wherein these devices can advise a squash player like whether the coverage of the court during the practice is enough or not. To create programs wherein it can say that like you have to go and do 50 forehand shots, whether you have achieved it or not. It advises, it creates a custom program. These devices are mix of hardware and so software that is created using a mobile app as well. And the prototype is ready. It is ready to be launched on fundraising, and then Varun will be doing that. So now what this has done is it has created a solid profile for Varun when he is going for college admission. So he had an idea, he created a prototype, he is now going to commercialize it to see the viability. So his entrepreneurial skill, entrepreneurial mindset development has been thorough throughout. So when it appears on his resume, it is going to be very, very impressive. That's one case study. The second bit is it is anyway going to help him in his squash, improving his squash. Look, can we move on to the next slide, please?
Yeah, so just one thing to add. So this is just one case study, as you guys, some of you have started a little bit late. So we got a lot of kids, and then you can see many of those case study on our website if you go. So kids are creating their books, they are creating their arts, launching on NFTs, they are creating their mobile apps, launching on app stores, they are creating games, launching on Roblox, Unity. Many very young kids. Those were really video game player, spend a lot or waste a lot of time. We converted them from consumer to creator. Ashu, back to you. So
Yeah.
I'll start the next case study. I think let's start here.
Yeah. So we can touch upon this quite quickly. So like we spoke about, the three pillars are technical skills, soft skills or critical skills, life skills, and entrepreneurial skills. The way we have integrated these in our programs is like technical skills are taught through experiential learning. Whether you are learning robotics, AI, IoT, a game and app development, we are providing you with a kind of a template wherein you can create your own devices, you can create your own kits. We provide kits, learning kits to aid that, so that kids can have the learning that is more of hands-on or experiential learning. Soft skills or critical skills like this, it is imbibed throughout our sessions in the way that like kids are working in teamwork. When they are creating their projects, their products, whether it is like a physical product or a digital product, they create their own videos to show that like this is what they have done. They get opportunity to speak in different cohorts throughout that we carry out every week throughout the year, where like it is an assembly of students, all our students, where they come and present their ideas, get the feedback. They are working in teams, so they play a kind of a leader's role, guiding each other, helping each other. Leadership, public speaking, communication skills, they all are imbibed through. Like if they learn how to market, how to sell their products in general through these soft skill sessions. The third pillar, like we talked about, is developing entrepreneurial mindset or entrepreneurial skills. What we have done is like what we found is like financial literacy amongst kids is very difficult to teach, right? Very basics of finances kids are not aware of. Like how does banking system work, like what happens when you go and use your debit card or credit card. So what we have done is we have created a board game called Moonpreneur. It's a game that we have created to teach financial literacy or to take students through a journey of financial literacy. It talks about like what is insurance, what is taxation, what is profit and loss, what happens when you buy and sell products on Amazon, on what do you do when you go to Walmart, and then if you want to sell your product on Walmart, assets, liability, and things like that through the gameplay. So throughout the sessions, whenever we are covering the financial literacy part, we touch upon these games. We send these games and kits as part of this program. Along with that, like when we are talking to kids when they're working on these kits to create their own product, it is all about problem solving. And problem solving encapsulate not just the problem that device will solve. It is more about finances as well. Is it viable? It is whether you will be able, it is cost effective or not. What is the segment that you are going to see? Then kids develop the financial aspect, financial literacy that goes behind creation of product. And when they are working on this product, we are always conscious about design thinking methodology. We are going through 5-step design thinking process for them to understand that what is required when you develop a product. More importantly, that like to get to a finish line, what does it take? Now the program that we have is, we call it as innovator program. It is a 12-month subscription program. Like it takes around like 15 to 20 hours a month. We have divided this program into 4 stages, 4 key stages. Each stage is give or take 12 weeks, 3 months. First stage is exploration, wherein students go through whole array of subjects, whether technical, non-technical subjects as well, like AI, machine learning, robotics, home automation, game development, app development, creative writing, public speaking, etc. The objective of stage 1 is that students choose what are they passionate about, with an objective that they are going to solve a problem, create a product, create a project. In stage 2, which is foundation, they go through details of that subject, foundation of that subject. So say, for example, if a student chooses robotics as a subject, they will go through a 12-week exercise of understanding what is required, what is robotics all about, what is required for you to create a robot or a machine. What is the difference between a sensor? What is the difference between a motherboard, CPU, computer? What is programming? What is coding, etc., etc. Right. So once they have this foundation knowledge, the objective of stage 2 or outcome stage 2 is that student come up with an idea of a product. And the way we did do it is like during the stage 2 of robotics, we will send them a kit. They'll play around with it. They'll work with sensors. They'll work with various devices, input, output devices, and they'll come up with an idea of a product. In stage 3, which is again give or take 12 weeks, we will send them another kit that they will use to create the product using the idea that was generated in stage 2. This product is like, we'll talk about the template, but this product will be done in a controlled way. So our objective is not that they are going to create a very unique product that no one has created. We have another program for that as well. But generally, what we want to teach them is, if you want to create a product, what are the steps that are required? What are the things that you have to focus on? So at the end of stage 3, using our kit, very sophisticated kit used to teach students from grade 6, 7 to engineering students, they will be able to come up with a prototype of product. Using that prototype of a product, we will take them into stage 4, where we'll teach them how to market your product, how to raise funds, what are the finances that goes behind if you want to go and create and sell this product online, what is digital marketing all about, what is supply chain all about. So that's in general our 4-stage program. A lot of students that we have, they go on to stage 5 as well, wherein they seek our help to launch the product, support the product when it is being sold online, or whether it is like from the customer service perspective, supply chain perspective. Again, like it is after stage 4. Very few of our customers go through it, but yeah, we have a stage program which is ongoing support. The way we delivered all the sessions are primarily focused on hands-on product-based learning or a project-based learning. There are 2 teachers or 3 teachers always in the class, the main instructor and 2 support teachers, whose job is to make sure that no kid is left behind. So we are not working on averages. We are working to make sure that every kid in the every child in the classroom touches the finish line. So if some kids are slow, the instructor, the additional instructor or the support instructor will take them into a breakout room, bring on to up to speed so that they are along with other students. If somebody is going too fast or they want more challenges, they are taken into breakout room and they are given more challenging problems so that their learning is comparable, and then these students help other students to bring everybody onto the same page. So we are like always delivering using a multi-instructor program, multi-instructor methodology. Alok, if we can move on to the next slide, please. So like we talked about templates. So like a lot of people asked us that like, how is it possible that we are able to take each child to the end stage? So the recipe is that we have got templates of these products. You could see these templates in a way that like it is a configurable kit that we have. Say, for example, in robotics, we have a kit that you can use to create 90 different use cases. So say, for example, if you want to create a temperature sensor, a third grade or fourth grade student can create a very simple temperature sensor. That sensor is reading the temperature or providing a temperature measurement, and you're displaying it. But if you want to use it for an engineering student using the same kit, they can create a very sophisticated kit wherein this temperature sensor is placed at multiple places. It is providing you an average temperature of your house or wherever it has been placed. It is integrated with a Bluetooth or SIM device. It can transmit it onto the app and things like that. You can create these sophisticated devices or a simple devices using the same set of product. The objective is that like you are innovatively or creatively creating a product that you are able to take it to a marketplace, and learning how you want to launch a business. If you want to launch a business, what goes behind it? It is not that like you are going to become an entrepreneur as such, but you will develop a mindset that takes you to the finish line, takes you to the goal. Same templates are available for app development, game development. Copper bottle t-shirts are a classic example. If somebody wants to create a business of copper bottle or t-shirt printing from scratch, it will take $10,000 to $15,000. But we can do it for say $200, $300 because we have everything in place. We know where to get it printed. The message of your child, Ashutosh, is a great teacher. If you want to create that t-shirt, we can get it created. We can teach using that t-shirt. How do you sell it on eBay, Etsy, or Amazon, and what is involved in order you to calculate whether you'll be profitable or not. What resources are required? We can do it quite easily, and then create a mindset which is more around the problem solving. Book publishing, book writing, arts and hobbies templates, publishing or arts on NFT platforms are other examples where kids learn a lot. They work in a controlled environment wherein like it could be our team who are playing a role of a vendor or a role of a publisher, but kids don't know, right? They are behaving as if they are actual vendor. So it is more about the experience that they are getting. Now if we look, if we can go on to the next slide, please. Now the templates that we talked about were more for 95% of the students. There are 3 to 5% of students who are very passionate. They know what they want to get out, what is their goal. No matter what, whether we help, Moonshot Junior helps or not, they'll find help somewhere. So we get those students as well. Like Varun is one of the examples that we talked about, wherein like they know what they want to do. We help them on one-to-one programs to take their product to the finish line or whatever help they need to achieve their goal. So say, for example, Varun created the app for squash players. It can be extended to tennis player or badminton player or table tennis player as well. Delina created an NFT art and so on and so forth. Alok, if we can move on to the next slide, please. Yeah, so like it is more around like, so if you see most of the courses that are available, and why we call it as experiential learning, there are a lot of courses that are available that teaches robotics, application development, coding, video creation, creative writing. The key thing is like if none of them take you to the finish line. And what do we mean by finish line? If you create a video and post it on YouTube, what does it take you to get 2,000 views? right? That is the key thing. If you are creating an app and putting it on Google Store or Apple Store, what does it take to get that 100 downloads? If you are raising money on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, what is the trick? What are the things that you'll have to do to get to first $500? There's a lot of resources that are required, a lot of skills that are required in order for you to achieve that. So when we are going through these 4 stages of program, that's what we are inculcating in these kids, that like your aim is not to do a business, but to have an experience that like if you want to do something and try out something in future, these are the things, these are the challenges that you will take, and that's what our program is all about. Alok, if you can move on to the next slide, please.
Ashu, we can take a quick pause, can take questions. And if you want to walk more things, we can do that, or your call.
Yeah, I think like, yeah, that's a good idea. Look, like we have been speaking for like quite a while now. Any questions from anyone? Like it would be great if we can make it more interactive.
Anyone, please come out of mute if there are any questions.
I have a question.
Hi, I have a question. Oh.
Yeah, go ahead. Ram, you start first. Nishini, you can go right after that.
Sure. So looking at the timeline, the 12 months, for me, it looks like it would probably take a longer time to get the kid go through the grind. Do you think that 12 months is like really pushing it?
Let me answer this, Alok. So Ram, like we said, there are 2 aspects. One is our templated program, wherein the kids are going through a controlled environment. So although they are having the same experience as if they are launching their unique product, but they are working through a template. So when I say through a template, mainly it is time that goes into prototyping and go to market, right? When they are developing a prototype, they are working through 90 to 120 different variations of a same kit. Using the same kit, you can create a temperature sensor, you can create a smoke detector, smoke alarm, proximity sensor. So they are working in a controlled environment, but in the journey, they are learning everything that is needed for them to visualize, create an idea to creating a product. Right. So 12 months, yes, we do it in 12 months. But if somebody comes up and say that like they have got a unique idea and they are passionate about it, they have support of parents and they have a team to work through. So when we say team, like often one person get into that mode that like, yeah, I don't have time, I want to take a break and things like that. Then they go into one-on-one kind of journey or specific team journey, and that may take somewhere from like 6 to 8 months to 2 to 3 years for them to come out with a product. So Varun's example, I'm again giving you, like he's not into the 12-month program, he's on one-on-one program. For last 8 months, we are working with him to get to a stage where we are able to go to the next step or launching it on a crowdfunding platform. Did I answer your question, Ram?
Yeah, I think you.
Nishini,
yeah, I have a question. So like if a child has an idea and it's like it's Varun's case, not as much as he has done so far, like if it's at the initial stage and if you want to have one-to-one, like how does it work? Like is it like we can decide the time, or you have one instructor allocated? Like how does it work?
Yeah, so like in one-to-one, we work with the parents and student to understand that how much time is available, right? And then we provide a customized program to them. So say, for example, like if they for first 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2, if they go through a generic program and they decide, oh, I've got a unique product, then we talk to the parent and say that like, this is what your child is saying. If you agree, we can put a very custom proposal. And most of these students that Alok is sharing did the same thing. They joined our Explore program, except Varun, and then moved on that like, oh, I want to create this unique product, and they did it that way. So we talk to the parent. Yeah. Sorry.
So they have to go through all the stages, or can't this? I mean, just wondering if they have gone through 1 or 2 stages on their own, like can they like start from stage 2.5 or 3? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, they can do that. But like again, it comes down to like we discuss, we assess. So like yesterday, I was having a discussion with one of the students who has developed a game. Now, what we did is like, yeah, we want to review your game with you and suggest what will be the next step. So we reviewed his game today, and we found that like the game is not yet production ready. So we will be working with him to get it production ready and then launch it. So yes, he's joining at stage 2.5 kind of thing. So it is more of a like we discuss and plan in agreement with the parent and the student.
And one other thing is like, if like some of these things like needs like somebody like in person, I feel like virtually, not virtually. So how do you, I know this is going to be virtual, in complete virtuality. So how do you handle that? Because some of these things like probably physics related stuff, sometimes you might need in person. So how do you cater to that requirement?
So like so far we have not seen in-person requirement, but like to so like we have gone through so many use cases and case studies, right from creating the physical product, complicated sophisticated kits, to app development, game development, creating arts. We have not felt need of in-person. So virtually our instructors and group of instructors are able to guide the students where the kits and hardware is required. We help. So like if it is part of our templated program, we provide all the kits, we deliver all the kits, we make sure that everything that is needed for completion is provided. But if it is a custom program or a custom kit that has to be created, we work with the parents, we arrange, we look after the supply chain, we order the kits for them wherever it is needed, we help them to order the kit wherever it is more economical or appropriate. So we have not seen a problem where in-person effort is required. What we have seen is that a single instructor is required. So say for example, in one of the cases, it was more of the project was more AI driven. So we assigned an AI expert to the student, and that student worked with one instructor throughout the life cycle because there was no other requirement for that project. But we have not seen in-person requirement where physically these student and parents are meeting. Instructors are meeting.
So how? Yeah, one minute. So if we want to chat, like how do we, like if you want to chat further, like how do we do it? We reach out to you, or like
absolutely. At the end of this, we will give you our email address. I'll give you my email address. Dipanshu, if you can type my and Alok's email address, that would be great, and we can arrange a call, arrange a discussion, and we can go it from there.
Yeah. I think Dipanshu just put all the information, the inquiry email on the chat. And then,
how does the tuition fee works? Like if it's a 1-to-1, and how is the tuition fees work?
Yeah, so tuition fee, it's not like, so it's not tuition as such, I would say.
Oh, sorry.
It is more of a subscription model. So what we do is we work with you, we prepare a plan, and we say that like it will require and it is based on how soon, how quickly you want to do. If you say that you want to do a project in 6 or 8 months, and we assess if it is possible, we'll say that it will take 15 hours a month for doing it in 6 months. So if it is 15 hours a month, there is a pricing based on the resources that are required. Some of the resources are expensive. Say, for example, like if we have to go and do a product research for, say, an AI and machine learning project, which requires sophisticated components. So we have done this for Varun's project. We went to a professor in IIT because one of his component was not working. So we discussed with you that like this is the fee that will be required. This will be on on actuals, this will be our resource cost. So for 15 hours, give or take, it is somewhere between $599 to $699 or $799 for 15 hours of instructions or support. When it goes on to say like 25 hours or 30 hours, it is $899 to $1,000 a month on the instruction, along with like all the expertise that is required. So it is like Nishmi, it is more of one-on-one case, but it is more on time and material. But we work with yeah.
So what you said was for 15 hours per month is $599 to $799 per month.
That's it, per month, yes.
Okay. Okay, right. Thank you.
And then it is not that like, yeah, that will be the case. So like if the project that you are talking about is simple, then it is like it can come down to a very small amount as well. So we have cases from $299 a month to like $2,500 a month projects as well, depending on what kind of resources are required, Nishni.
Okay, right. Thank you.
All right.
So Akansh, I think you had a question. Please go ahead.
Yeah. I have already written halfway through a book, and I also really want to do something in robotics. Can I do both?
If you have time, yes, of course, you can do both. Like it is how much time you have, Akansh, like available. It is like, yeah, you have to study as well, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes, you can.
Akansh,
You can.
I mean, so any of these projects, like if you're writing a book, we expect at least 15 to 20 hours per month dedicated
per
time.
month,
Right?
exactly.
It's already 4-5 hours per week. With your study and all that, that can become overwhelming. And then if you want to add a robotics on top of it, you are talking another 4-5 hours, right? So if you can support, absolutely, we are here.
Yeah, so like what I'll recommend is, Akansh, if you have completed half of the book, we can work with you to complete the book quite quickly. And then you can, in parallel, you can join robotics program as well. But like, again, we will have to discuss with you, go through that, like what is the quality of the book, what you have written, and what do you want to do with the book, right? But yes, you can do it. It is just time, isn't it, that we'll have to work with. We have limited time, everybody.
Okay.
Anyone else? We are already 7 minutes over, but we can take a few more questions if you guys. Ram, you have a question?
Yeah, if the kids get along, do a book or do a product or something, is there some kind of a copyright thing that you guys go about, or is it in the kids?
Yeah, everything, all the platform copyright is ours, product copyright is with the student. So when we say platform, that the learning platform, the curriculum that we are talking about, the learning kit, if we are providing, that's our IP, that's our copyright. But the product that will come out, the book that will come out, it is all students. We are in teaching business. Yeah. If somebody has written a book, it is his book. We are just helping to get the book out.
Well, my kid has, she said she has been doing a book for past 2 years. I think she's written about 28 chapters or something. We don't know what to do with it, like how to help her.
Like you are at the right place, Ram.
Okay.
So my kid's book is like, it was at the same stage, and like I'm motivating them to finish last 2 chapters so that we can get it published. So like, yeah, like that we get a lot of queries like these. We get a lot of customers like this, that like kids write a lot of stories when they are young. How do we compile it and take it to the next step? So yeah, it is what we do day in, day out, Ram.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Anyone else?
I have one little question now. For example, if you're making a product on your own, like you have to look at whether somebody has done it before, like, you know, the patent research. So do you all do it, or do you expect the child to do it?
So like we don't encourage that, like you take our services to do things. The main reason is we want kids to learn, they to experience it. So we will guide the student. If they want to do market research, we will guide them that this is how market research is done. These are the things that you have to do it. If they are asking us to go and do the market research, then kids are not learning. Our objective is that they learn the repeatable process. They might fail in this time, but next time when they are doing, they know that this is how it was done. So we encourage, whatever we are teaching, we encourage kids to do it this way. We guide them, we mentor them. So say, for example, in case of book, if somebody says that like, this is the book, this is written, and now get it published, we encourage them that like, let's go and review it. Why don't you give it to your 5 friends and take the feedback from them, and then we'll correct it. We guide them through the process. We want kids and children to learn. We are not a services company where somebody can say that, can you create a software for us? No, we'll guide them, we'll help them. If they get stuck, we'll get the resources who can help them. But we want children or kids to learn. That's where their resume will look strong. That's where they will succeed in future. And Nishni, that's our objective.
Yeah,
okay,
so Nishini,
great. Thank you.
Just to add to that, when they reaches to advanced stage, right? Not at the early stages, but like Varun, now he's reaching to advanced stages where, I mean, think about the potential of his product. This product he's building on squash. Now he can expand it to tennis and many other sports, right? This can become $5-10 million business if we help him right and he do it right. Now he need lawyers, he needs support from company setup and all that support and that introductions are available. But that generally happen later because he already gone through that pain. We really do not activate all of that in the very early, because in that way, what happened, the child is really not learning. Either the parent is start learning, and we are really not here to teach parents.
Yeah. And then like in Varun's case, like that's the discussion that we are having with his parents, that like the potential of his product is not just squash. Like it is not just sport. Like imagine like if you are a dancer and you want to see how the coverage is, how whether you are following the steps properly or not. You can keep these sensors all over and say and detect whether your steps are right or not. So like it is we are working with them to get all these things sorted, but that he has gone to a very mature state. But again we are making him learn. We are working with him rather than for him.
Yeah. So
did we answer
thank
your
you
question,
very much.
Nishni?
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
No. So in other words, we are not here to sell successes. We are selling successes. We are selling failures. You own them. We are here to support them however you want to go in this journey.
Yeah.
Right? It makes us look very different, and that is who we are. Alright, so I think it's already 10:12. Really good talking you guys. You guys, the free trials are available. So you can go our site and all these trials, please take those trials. You will be able to learn some of our methodology. You will be able to see how your child is really interacting with our teacher, how they are liking it. There is another thing. If you register in next 48 hours, you will also get $100 off. This is not really registration for trial, but this is really a registration to the actual program. But there is absolutely no rush. Go for the trial, figure it out. We are teaching literally hundreds of students across US now, several hundred in Silicon Valley. Many kids are in different places. We are a Silicon Valley company, so we saw a lot of magic here, but now it is expanding everywhere. And then we are available in over 10 countries now.
Alok, I think Ellie asked a question. So like Ellie, like the age group that we are talking about is between 10 and 17, and in some cases young adults as old as 18 and 19-year-old as well.
But sometimes in exceptional cases we make an exception for 9-year-old because sometimes they are exceptional. But that's pretty much it. We really don't take anybody below 9.
All right. I think.
All right. Thanks everyone. Really
thank you.
Good talking to you. Have a good weekend.
Thanks a lot.